Give me a minute and we'll give you an update on the Ukrainian counteroffensive. Now you look here, and what you see is that the wedge into the most defended territory on Earth, landmines as thick as 5 per square meter in the minefields, and the minefields stretch for miles and miles and miles. Then the first defensive line, the first set of trench networks, through that, open that up like a can of tuna. And now we see they've almost doubled the area of expansion into the first Sorovikin line. So the Sorovikin lines are being cleaned out now. My friends, 60% of the Russian forces are in the first defensive line. The second defensive line that the Ukrainians are now clawing their way through meter by meter at a cost of blood only has 20% of the troops in it. So they got to bring in reinforcements. Now here's the thing. We can tell a lot about what's really going on by looking at those troop deployments. That little red area there that juts into the bright blue on the right-hand side of the image, that is the 76th, the Russian 76. These are some of the most battle-hardened, experienced, and elite troops that Russia has. For any offensive capabilities that you're going to have now that Wagner's gone, you're going to be looking at guys like the 76th. And they've put them in for defense. That's a bad sign. And we don't even know how much of the 76 is left, because they got hit hard en route here. This tells us that the Russians are desperate, that they are running out of troops. And it tells us, as we watch this Ukrainian salient stretch and its flanks expand and the penetration get deeper, I am more convinced than ever that before this month is out, before September is out, we are going to see mass surrender and collapse of the lines in the south. They can't keep it up. They can't. And they certainly can't keep it up when their guys try to retreat. They turn their own artillery on them, as they did in Robotyne last week. They did it again up south of Velka Novosilka in the, I forget the, town names are hard. I apologize to the Ukrainian people. I'm sorry. I try with the town names. I do. But we saw the same thing just south of Velka Novosilka. The Russian MOD, I should have screenshotted that for you guys. The Russian MOD said that it was a tragic accident, that troops fleeing in panic, the Russian MOD actually used the words troops fleeing in panic, unfortunately ran into friendly fire. Now give me a break. We know you're using barrier troops. We know you're turning your artillery on your own people, for which you should be ashamed. But you guys have no shame. The Russians have no shame. It's obscene. And the Ukrainians are doing an incredible job. They're about to pop the top on this thing. And then there's not going to be any stopping them. It was nice to see, too, another dozen Leopard tanks arrived today. And the Abrams are on their way. It's about time. Maybe if we had given these people the weapons that we promised them, we'd be a little further along in this. So everybody criticizing the Ukrainian armed forces can fuck right off. They're doing something that we wouldn't dream of doing. And they're succeeding.